My channel. Tectone reacting the weather wave is better than Zenless Zone 0, and I also react on Tectone video. So let's can do it if someone अगर किसी ने मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया सब्सक्राइब कर लो और वीडियो को लाइक नहीं किया उसको लाइक कर लो। तो आज हम रिएक्ट करेंगे टेक्टोन की वीडियो पे कि वैक्सीन वॉज इस ज़्यादा बेहतर है जोन 0 से। सो देखते हैं क्या बनता है। सो आई एम आल्सो रिएक्टिंग टेक्टोन, सो इट्स ओके, लेट्स सी हियर।
To die. It happened with Reverse 1999. It happened with Tower of Fantasy.
Reverse 1999 nobody was really talking about that. That game had no traction. The majority of hyped up gacha games these days actually do stick around for a good bit. TOF was incredibly bad, but it did take over the entire platform quite a bit. But yeah, like Honkai Star Rail was one that was very overhyped and also is still here to today. So I think we're actually past that era. But yeah, not every gacha just disappears immediately.
And I assure you, they were going
Yes, that's true, bro. That's true.
Be 14 or 15 more gacha games in the next 2 years where the exact same thing happens.
Yeah, I mean, Arknight's Enfield will once again fade, probably about a month after it comes out. Wuthering Waves will not do that. I even think Zenless Zone 0 will actually have some legs to stand on as well, just because it's a HoYoverse game and their community will play whatever slop they put out.
History has a habit of...
I think so. I never played the Zenless Zone 0, but let's see what Tectone react on here.
repeating itself, and Doom is often the only thing in the future of many of these games, because the fact of the matter is, if there's not a player base, then there's not a market for it to exist in. But for the first time in quite a while, I am actually looking at a gacha game that I am not only genuinely excited for, but fully willing to look past the entire gacha system before the game even comes out.
Yeah, you won't need to use it. I'm pretty sure all content in that game will be able to be beat at level 1 if you're good enough, because they actually have a skill-based combat system, which I'm really excited about. And also, you say this game doesn't have a community to stand on. Yes, it does. It has begrudged, I guess, pissed off Genshin players who quit the game. And that's a very huge community.
For those who don't know, I had interest in Honkai Star Rail before
Disgruntled, there's the word.
Because I thought the game looked relatively interesting. However, when I saw the gacha mechanics, I decided I wasn't going to play it, and the only reason I ever did was because somebody talked about it. But with
me, by the way. They're doing that thing where they don't name me again. It was me. Because Solo hated Genshin Impact because his brother played it so goddamn much and wouldn't stop bitching about it. And then I told him, play the game and make content on it. And he did. So that...
bro, that's your doing. That's not great, bro. They don't like this game, Honkai Star Rail, because they like Genshin Impact. That's why no one play another game, because they like Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is fun, but not so fun. Only base is hard content in the Genshin Impact, and that's also easy. You can defeat anything with only one character if your one character is more powerful than the others. One hit and one DPS character is enough to be a special base if you have the power of it.
Second person, it's me.
Whether in ways, what I'm looking at in this game is so unimaginably promising that not only am I excited for it, but I'm actually doing a solo first and coming out to discuss a game that's not even available. I don't think hype is an accurate way to describe just how excited I am to play this game, and I am praying that they actually let me in the second beta. Now, for those who are unaware why I'm looking forward to this game so much, it's really quite simple. You guys remember Zenless Zone 0? For those who aren't entirely aware,
I do.
When I saw the trailer for that game, I was so unimaginably excited, because what I thought I was looking at was a game that heavily focused on combat, parries, timing, and actually had a skill ceiling. What's missing in a lot of gacha games is something that people joke about. It's skill. You know, you get into the MLC, you make it to the end, and people go like, oh, you can't beat it, it's a skill issue, but in actuality, it's not. The fact of the matter is, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin, and most other gacha games are...
So the skill for Honkai Star Rail generally comes in preparing, right? Preparation and strategy, right? It's very hard to actually fuck up Honkai Star.
Yes, dude, that's true, bro. That's true.
so much that you lose. It's majority resource management and preparation. So not skill. No, there is a skill in being able to make sure that your account is ready for the upcoming content. There is. You just gotta have a certain mindset. It's more so cerebral. Now, the problem with Wuthering Waves is when content creators are praised for being good at the game. Like, for example, there will probably be multiple free-to-play player streamers, and some of them will be praised because a free-to-play player beats it very easily because they got lucky on their account. I can see that becoming very, very, very irritating, and also praising free-to-play streamers who are willing to play the game every day for 16 hours and eventually beat it because they got lucky. Kind of like a lot of streamers did for Tower or Spiral Abyss. That shit's gonna be irritating. That will be irritating 100%. But yeah, the fundamental idea of what is skill or not is when two people will go on the same account and see what one or the other can do.
Or unimaginably casual experiences, and the only thing stopping you from clearing in-game content is how lucky and or how much time you have invested. There is absolutely zero skill ceiling beyond putting the right people on the right team and getting lucky with getting those people. It is really fucking annoying to know that your only course of action when you hit a wall is to go back to the drawing board, get some materials, and come back once you can actually win the war of attrition. That is an issue
that's every turn-based RPG
that plagues a lot of games, including Star Rail. And while yes, you could argue it is to a lesser
that also is the exact same thing as Genshin. It's very hard to f*** up Genshin.
extent, the problem
That's true, bro. That thing is true.
Still there. But what Zenless Zone 0 looked like, at least to me, somebody who wasn't able to play it, was it looked like a game that would be hyper-fixated on combat. And sure, while the boss fight may have taken you the better part of your late 40s to finish, you would have technically been able to get out on the other side so long as you were good enough at dodging, parrying,
Back to live, back to live, back to live, back to live. Come to live, bro. Come to live, come to live. Okay, thank you. Don't go again.
the works. However, when the second closed beta actually came out and we finally got to see what the game looked like, it was nothing but TVs for 70% of the core gameplay experience.
It's actually more like 90%.
Yay. To say that that was disappointing would be a monumental understatement that rivals the grandiose structure of Mount Rushmore. The very moment that that closed beta was out for the week-long mark and reviews started rolling in, the ZZZ channel in my server went from people being excited about the game to just literally pages of the sleeping emote. There wasn't...
Well, the other problem is that... I mean, let's just be real. The Zenless Zone Zero community is going to have a lot of people coming from Genshin Impact, and goddamn, do they hate anything that's not Genshin Impact. They do. Plus, it's also a play on words for Zenless Zone Zero, ZZZ. It is a play on words.
A damn soul who's actually hyped for this game. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like HoYoverse is actually going to go back to the drawing board and get rid of this dog shit. When this game was advertised...
Now, once again, I don't think they need to get rid of the TVs. I think the TVs could actually work, but right now they're not working. They are just quite literally not working. I do think they could improve upon it, but they most likely will not.
I thought it was going...
I don't think I never played this game. Never. I only play the Genshin Impact. It's my first most loved game, but now it's not. I'm waiting for the Wuthering Wave, and I only start playing those few Honkai Star and Honkai Star is much fun. It's much fun.
To be combat. I really wanted it to be combat because I want to have a game that I don't have to play casually. For all of the shit that I give Fortnite, at the end of the day, the reason I can appreciate that game to the level of which I do is because of the skill ceiling with the building. And
just because you're a little kid, Solo. That's okay. You're just a little kid. You like Fortnite? If you don't like Fortnite, you're a f***ing loser. You're a f***ing loser if you don't like Fortnite. Wanna go get on Fortnite? We can chug together? It's okay, Solo. You're just a little kid. You're a little baby boy playing Fortnite. You know what? Maybe we'll play sometime. Does that sound good? That could be fun.
Well, yes, the community is more toxic than Chernobyl. That only makes it...
Is the Fortnite community toxic? I've never heard of that ever.
All the more satisfying when I eradicate some 5-year-old's progress for the last 20 minutes.
I never heard of them also, bro. Fortnite community is not toxic. That's not great. I don't think so also, bro. I don't think also.
One shot. The gratification you get from playing a game long enough to actually be considered good is unparalleled. Being praised by your fellow gamer not because you rolled the best stats, but because guess what? You're actually skilled enough is something that people often take for granted. And it is something that is severely lacking in the gacha scene. until now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who praise Regsland for being really, really, really good at PGR. And that shit was unbelievable to me. And I even accidentally took a pot shot of it a while ago because I just couldn't believe that a gacha was skill-based. But we'll see how Regsland fares versus other CCs once they get in this game. I am actually genuinely curious if he is as good as so many people said, because for Regsland in the PGR community, he was a big fish in a little pond. But if he still pops off in Wuthering Waves, hey, shit, bro, that is going to be validating as PGR isn't even hard. Well, we'll see. That's what people say. Who knows?
So from the looks of it, Wuthering Waves is basically going to be hardcore Genshin Impact. We are talking a open world where it's basically just a Souls-like / Monster Hunter. It's heavily emphasized on combat, and if you don't get good, your ass is going to get smeared across the floor like a fucking mop. And buddy, I'm waiting for it. I really am, because as a masochist, there is nothing that brings me more joy than having people beat me up. It's such an...
I don't think it's going to be that difficult for the casual modes, like going through the story and exploring through world exploration, because that will deter a lot of players. But I do think there will be things that players can do intentionally to actually inhibit a challenge on themselves. But I don't think the game is going to be impossibly hard and fuck you up as solo as people to believe.
An exciting time to be a gacha player.
It can't be hard on story mode? No, yeah, 100%.
Because when I say that I can actually wholeheartedly recommend
why his voice going like this? Because of my internet not going well. I have to change my internet. Now my internet is gone, so I need to connection again of my internet on Monday, and on Monday, and my internet is going well, so I can go on the live stream of my PUBG also.
game to friends, I'm not joking. If this game ends up playing like how I expect it to, it would actually be entirely possible and plausible for you to have a level 1 character and just obliterate late game bosses, assuming you're good enough at dodging. And
yeah, I am expecting a pushback from a lot of creators when Wuthering Waves CB2 does come out, because I believe a lot of them aren't speaking on experience. When they say Wuthering Waves is going to be the best, I feel like people are riding a wave 100%. And we'll see how people actually feel once they play it, because I feel like so many people are speaking when they have not played the game yet.
Additionally, if it ends up working how we think it's going to work, that would mean it does not matter how bad your character is. If you like them enough, you can use them. So long as they're a designated DPS,
yep,
you can, in theory, take out an entire boss with only the character that you like, no matter what the meta says, if you as a player are actually skilled enough.
Yep.
Think about that.
I mean,
That's true, but sometimes the games do videos on it because they have power to defeat one actor and one person. I think it's possible. So you have a level 1 character, but your weapon level is higher than your character level, then you can beat, if this is for sure. But but you need to have more skills. If you have skills, you can beat any content in every game.
think it will be cool, because I feel like Wuthering Waves will be one of the first games where you actually can have a viable main, because you can technically just dodge everything if you're good, so it would be kind of cool.
That entirely eradicates one of the biggest
Yes, bro, it's kind of cool. That thing is true.
problems with Genshin. You have these characters you get attached to, they come out, and then they're hot garbage. Looking at you, Dea. And I know that I'm harping on like that skill ceiling fact a lot, but just like look at this gameplay. These people are like dodging left, right, they're parrying, they're avoiding these attacks. It just looks cool. By far, one of my favorite moments in the trailer is when we see this guy. This guy will end up being my main, and no, it's not because he's a twink. Just look at this guy's fighting style. He is zipping around the entire battle.
Oh, bro, when I called that guy a toddler, oh, that made people so angry.
Yes, true, bro. If you insult this character, people make angry.
It was so good, bro. It's so hard to tell in an anime game if someone's a twink or if someone's just a kid. You know, I remember people were calling Yang Jing a femboy. I'm like, bro, he's not a femboy. He's just 12.
battlefield, punching 1,000 times a second, probably hitting like a wet napkin, but it doesn't matter because he's hitting so fast. Then he activates this ultimate, he throws down a pylon, probably is getting some sort of stat buff based on this image, and then is just dragging the enemy up in the air with a combo string and ending it with a kick flip. This looks really fun to play, and the best part about it is a open world. And not only is it an open world, but it's also a open world set in the apocalypse setting. Starting to sound familiar? For those of you who don't remember, Tower of Fantasy was like the first big gacha game I played. Before that, it was AFK Arena, then Skullgirls Mobile, and Mega Man X-Dive, but Tower of Fantasy was the very first like really big one I played. And the reason I went out of my way to play Tower of Fantasy was because I heard it was set in a sort of apocalyptic setting, and I am a massive sucker for those settings. But one of my biggest gripes with the game was, despite being in an apocalypse, it does not feel like it. The colors, for example, were way too oversaturated. There was absolutely nothing about the game that told me, yep, this is an apocalypse, besides the occasional demonic entity. This game doesn't have that problem, because not only is it set in the apocalypse, but the colors and aesthetic actually matches it. When you look at this gameplay footage,
I don't think you need specific colors to elicit the feeling of an apocalypse, but I do think you need certain structures. Yeah, I feel like color palette has nothing to do with it personally.
Not thinking, oh my god, what's over that hill?
I think so too, but if the game have more color, people attractive more, sometimes the most girls can attractive on the colors. Most girls, boys only need to play game for fun, only for fun, and this games make them happy. That's why they play the games.
I don't think everything needs to be gray and brown and black if you're in an apocalypse. I just think you need like broken structures and like blown up cars and shit.
Whimsical, you're thinking, damn, what the f happened here? Is everybody dead? What's going on? What's the grander story here? And while we're talking about grander story, let's talk about these devs' commitments to telling a good one. After the backlash on the story in the old update, these guys went back to the drawing board and just revamped everything.
In their mind, and I am going to play devil's advocate, there is still a chance that the story will suck balls. Because if they f***ed up once writing the story, they could potentially f*** up twice. So it could still be bad. But once again, I think the biggest thing that Wuthering Waves is going to have an issue with is dealing with these absurd expectations where it's going to have the best story, it's going to have the best characters, it's going to have the best combat for casual and hardcore. Like, people are hyping this up to be a game that is like insurmountable, but that's still good for marketing because people are talking about it.
They actually said, you know what, this is dog shit, let's fix it. And what that tells me alone is that this game is worth playing, because the devs are actually listening to the players for once. They're not busy counting all the money they made on, I don't know, fucking Amber's 5-star banner, I don't care. They are sitting there, listening to what people are saying, taking it into account, and instead of being butthurt because people don't like what they're doing, they're going, yeah, you know what, maybe this does suck. They're going back to the drawing board, and they are fixing it. It is wild to me that this is something I actually have to praise somebody for, but it genuinely does feel like you're screaming into a void more often than not when it comes to these gaming companies. And yet, here is somebody who's actually having the first closed beta, taking...
How many times have people said the devs are finally listening? Well, okay, I think this is different, right? Because the devs said they heard what people were saying and then confirmed on the live stream that they've changed it. It's not like, we hear you players, you want this, and in due time we'll have those. It is literally we heard you don't like this, so we changed it. You'll see it next closed beta, right? It's a very big difference.
And what they hear from it, making a second closed beta that addresses those issues, and chances are the issues that we have with its second closed beta are also going to be addressed. The game already is really fucking good looking, and while a lot of us don't have access to the closed beta too, I have no doubt that whatever we complain about will actually be talked about, listened to, and fixed. This game is not going to be a Genshin killer.
Now, we will say, okay, that's okay. All right, let's go back. All right, there's a big difference between fixing a game before it's out and fixing a game after it's out. Being able to adjust things before public release is a lot easier. So I don't know if once the game's released, they'll be like, oh, you didn't like this, we'll change everything. Like, they're not going to retcon shit once the game's out. Like, they're not going to retcon the story the moment it's out, right? It's good that we gave the game criticism before it came out because it's easier to fix, right? But This is a glass half full take.
Talked about, listened to, and fixed. This
Yeah.
game is not going to be a Genshin killer. Allow me to go ahead and say that now. In fact,
Okay, I know people say it won't be a Genshin killer. It's because Genshin is unkillable, because the fan base will always have the mentally ill side that's overly attached to it. Not that there's anything wrong with casually enjoying Genshin or even extremely enjoying Genshin. It's just when you play Genshin, even when you don't enjoy it, I think you are stupid. When you play Genshin and you do enjoy it, I think you're fine. But when you're playing a game that you don't like, I think that's stupid, personally. Games are supposed to be for fun, so why the are you playing if it's not fun? Now, I do think Wuthering Waves.
Yeah, that's right, bro. If you have no fun in the game, you can't play the game. But some mentally disturbed people want to play a game if the game is sucks, but they want to play because they have a mind to play this game only because they don't need for fun, they don't need anything. They only need to play to mm, waste some time on the game to get enjoyed, but oh, I don't think so.
Will be a Genshin hinderer, 1,000,000%. I think we will see profits go down a little bit. I think we will see a more active fan base on Wuthering Waves side, at least temporarily, because it is attempting to compete against them in every single aspect. Okay, if the story's better, if the combat's better, if the characters look better, why would everybody stick around? It may not kill it, but it will certainly hinder it.
in fact, I don't think that this game is going to have as many views as Tower of Fantasy did on launch either. But
Absolutely not, because Tower of Fantasy was available during COVID.
what I do think is that this game is worth your time. And if you want a Genshin adjacent experience that actually has some sort of advanced combat that's going to deliver on something Zenless Zone 0 didn't, this, my friend, is your savior. If I get access to this closed beta, I will be dedicating myself entirely to answering any question you guys may have. I will also be thoroughly dissecting its gameplay. I will be airing out my criticisms, my compliments, and all of it without any sort of discrimination. I want this game to succeed more than anybody, more than the executive.
No, you don't. You don't want this game to succeed more than I do. You don't have hundreds of thousands of people coming at you every day for the bad things you said about Genshin. You don't, okay? Because if this game succeeds, you gotta understand the content I'm about to make. You gotta understand, all right? Nuclear would be an understatement. It would.
I think also this game is gonna insane. I know that. I think also this game is better and they can kill the every fucking game on uh, the internet. But this game is much better if you have whatever character you. I think there's a myth. If you have one character, you can beat everything because if you have one character, but you need to upgrade your weapon, upgrade other things, then you beat this thing easily.
Oh, man. Dude. I'm so excited about Wuthering Waves. I unironically might make a couple guides now and then. That's what's insane. Like, that is I'm actually considering.
I'm also making guides of this game. I'm also making guides. I starting Genshin Impact the first time, and I'm uploading guides on the channel. But and after some time, I lose my mobile. That's why I can't post it a video on that. And I'm starting this year to go on to renew my channel, get more views and get more subscribers. It's hard to get more subscribers. I'm still doing it because I want to. चैनल चलाना हमें बहुत ज़रूरी है मुझे बहुत पसंद है कि मैं चैनल चलाऊं.
Nah, not even kidding
My dream.
you.
Probably does. This game is going to be worth your time. You should play it. You should support it. And hopefully, through this game's success, other companies will take
Not
note
long
and
term.
finally start listening to their players.
We'll see. The most important thing is that the CBT2 is coming out, and all of this boundless, baseless hype will be tested, and we'll see if people are still as hyped for it as they think they are. Because I feel like there's a lot of unrealistic expectations that people are giving to this game so far. Now, no matter what, I do believe this game will succeed, but to what degree, we'll see. I am very interested, and I'm going to be reading the entire story from start to finish on CBT2. Because if the story's better than Genshin's or Honkai Star Rail, I don't think it can compare to Honkai Star Rail. I love Honkai Star Rail so much. I don't think it'll be close.
I do. I love Honkai Star. Also, I make a new account to get my get other characters what I need. So I'm doing it. Okay, guys, this is the last live stream here for now. I need to go. I need to go to some work here. So I meet again soon. I posted this video on my channel. You can see on there also. So take care. अपना ख्याल रखिएगा. Allah Hafiz. We'll meet again soon. See you.
But we will see, and very soon. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing.
Okay, you also like my videos and subscribe to my channel if you are new on my channel. Okay, take care. Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.